Guy Benson, host of The Guy Benson Show on Fox News Radio, political editor at townhall.com, and a Fox News contributor, is here. And Guy, what a treat to have you on the set with us.
Great
Always good to see you. Welcome to the story. So what do you make of this Manchin news, and where do you think it's going?
Well, I'm not really surprised by the news. He said it was the toughest decision he's ever made, or one of them. I'm not really sure how tough of a call it was, looking at the polling, realizing he'd be on the ballot in a presidential year in a state that has gotten redder and redder. His path to victory was thin. Without him, I think the Democrats' path to victory in that Senate seat is almost gone. So Republicans can't fully notch a gain yet, but pretty darn close, right? So that matters in terms of the Senate landscape for 2024, the balance of power. What people almost instantly then turn their attention to is what you're talking about. What's next for Joe Manchin? Could he now be kicking the tires to run for president? He's been dropping those hints for a while. Now he's free. He's not going to be running for re-election in his home state, to travel the country, he says, and to talk to people in that middle who feel alienated and maybe form some sort of unity ticket and get on ballots, because you have to be organized. You have to be well-funded to do that. No Labels does have some of that infrastructure.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like you wanted an excuse.
A couple of data points here. This is the Gallup poll. Do the Democrats and the GOP do an adequate job of representing Americans? And take a look at these numbers. 63% say no, they don't. We need another party that represents more Americans, and the parties do an adequate job at 34%. Here's Anna Navarro, because we always look to The View for the smartest opinion that we can find. So here she is talking about this.
This, to me, is a desperate cry for relevance and attention by a bunch of elitist, former something, who are thirsty to be part of the conversation. Joe Manchin, what I would ask John Huntsman, what I would ask Joe Manchin is, are you willing to be responsible for putting Donald Trump back in the White House?
A little angry at the possibility that someone might throw things off here and help Trump.
Yeah, that description from her is rather rich coming from her, given her background, I would say. But look, if you look at polling, the American people aren't thrilled with their options. A large majority, whether you love Joe Biden or hate him, love Donald Trump or hate him, a large majority of the country does not want to see a rematch of these two. And that is still the likeliest outcome for 2024. RFK Jr. in some of these polls is in the 20s. Among independents, he's like
30s.
Yeah, he's in the 30s among independents. And you look at Cornel West gaining some traction.
Yes.
If you're a Joe Manchin or a Larry Hogan or a John Huntsman, maybe a Mitt Romney, are you looking at that and saying there's a hunger for something with these two major political parties giving us potentially this rematch most people don't want? Why not get in? And then the question is, let's say it happens. Let's say all these people are on the ballot. Then there's a scramble. Who does this benefit? I think that could be fascinating.
I mean, it's really anybody's guess at this point, because there's a battle over RFK and what impact he has. I just want to play this Jim Carville thing really quickly and get a quick thought from Guy before we head out here. Let's watch.
Do doubts remain about the president's age? Yeah. I mean, how could any sane person say that this is not an issue? You know, the party does this, and people will rally behind it.
Calls it like he sees it, right? How could any sane person say this isn't an issue?
The polls all show it's a huge issue, not just for Republicans, but for Democrats as well. The question is, from Carville, is that yet another little nudge for Joe Biden? We're seeing a lot of those nudges lately, aren't we?
Yeah, we sure are. Guy Benson, we just needed to nudge you a little bit to get you to show up today. So thank you so much for doing that.
Happy to be here.
It's always good to see you. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Bye, Guy.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.